Hello everyone and welcome to the 100th episode of Season 3 of Zoo Crafting! Huzzah! 100 more amazing days of celebrating adventures, of really watching our family grow with all sorts of new animals and new people, and in my case, new boyfriends, as my boyfriends cloned themselves several times this season. But yes, 100 days that you and I have spent together, and it has been amazing. And our community is just growing and growing and growing. It has almost doubled in size just since the last beginning of the season, and I can't believe that it has been another huge milestone in the zoo crafting history. As you guys know, zoo crafting, since it is full of surprises, what the heck? What is that down there? Okay, we're gonna look at that in just a second. But I was just gonna tell you guys that zoo crafting is more or less a daily series, which is fantastic. And we have side quests and we have all sorts of adventures, and you guys contribute so much to the community that becomes our Zoodesia world. And it's been absolutely amazing. And 100 days of zoo crafting really means that we've had a chance to grow together as a community. We've had a chance to learn about so many things. We've just had a chance to hang out together, share our excitement for the natural world together, and that's just amazing. And I'm really curious about what that little guy is, so I'm going to finish with the introduction speech. As you guys know, every 100 episodes we go on a tour of the zoo, so we can see what kind of progress or lack thereof we have made in the past 100 episodes. And thankfully, I am proud to say we have really covered a lot of things. We have learned about a lot of new creatures, we have built a lot of new areas, and we have made a lot of brave, bold decisions for Zoodesia in the last 100 episodes. So season 3 means that this is the third year of zoo crafting, and hopefully we have many more ahead of us. And I have a very important announcement at the end of this wonderful tour day that we're going to have. But I think we're going to have to just start the tour now, because I am about to just die of excitement and curiosity. What are you? What are you, you little adorable? Are you a hedgehog? Are you a hedgehog? Is this a hedgehog? Come here, you. In you go. You guys, that's a baby hedgehog. This is a baby hedgehog. You just never know what kind of surprises you're going to find in our world, including brand new creatures. So this is another one of the beautiful creatures that Pavo has actually made, and I have not seen it yet, but he has introduced hedgehogs to our zoo. So our entire world in the Zoo Crafting Discoveries mod pack that we're still building behind the scenes, it's still very much a work in progress, has these adorable little guys in them now. Oh my goodness, look at the little teleportation bunny. It's like, what is this? What is this? You're so cute. You're so cute. We're going to have to make a little hedgehog exhibit now. This is going to be awesome. Oh my gosh. But yeah, you guys, okay. I think it's just a little wild baby hedgehog. No need to worry. This is actually a great spot for the wild baby hedgehogs to hang out. This is the entrance to Zoodesia Zoo, which is kind of like a little canopy area with this beautiful tree that wraps its leaves around the beautiful sign that Pavo made for us. And now Pavo has made another beautiful thing because we have the adorable little baby hedgehog, which is so cool. So you guys need to go and let him know how adorable this is. Oh my goodness. But I think he's going to be a very happy little hedgehog. There's plenty of food to eat around here, plenty of things for him to relax with and enjoy. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start our tour, and who knows how long it's going to take us. These normally take us quite a long time, Tate and Lily, so that we can just show you guys everything that is currently in the zoo and that we have been working on for the last, like I said, 100 episodes. So it's time! It's time, Tate! And of course, you as the fisher dog would immediately dive into the small pond. You are so freaking adorable. I hope you caught some fish there. All right, but yes. So what is the point of Zoodesia Zoo? The point is to try to share a passion for the natural world, to try to educate as we run around and we build our animal exhibits, to try to just have some amazing adventures and to just have fun, to share a spirit of optimism and joy and community and love of nature with everyone. So I really love that, and I love seeing what progress we can make, and it just is really nice because sometimes I feel like we never get anything done in the zoo to reflect back on the things that we really have done. So let's go ahead and tour the whole zoo. And we're not going to tour my home today. It's kind of messy and full of cloned boyfriends and Easter eggs. I need to clean it up. So yeah, we're just going to tour the zoo today, and that's going to take us enough time anyway. So here we are. This is the entrance of the zoo. As soon as you teleport in, this is the main teleporter. It links up with the entire world. So everywhere else in our gigantic server and all of its beautiful fun places, including many new places like Minkia, Lunaris, that I have not seen yet. I don't even think I've been to the slime spawner yet alone the Snowy Academy. There's so many new places I haven't really peeked at. I haven't even really looked at Winter's Temple just yet, so we might have to ask her for a tour there. But today we're going to have a tour of our home. So yes, our entrance tree, baby hedgehogs. And yes, Bluebell and Primrose, my 2 host daughters, are actually with us right now too. I think they've somehow climbed back here, and I'm not going to worry about them because they'll come and join us as we start walking around the place. But yeah, let's see what we have accomplished so far, and you can see a whole bunch of signs that will indicate things that we are going to be working on in the future. Like this is the Temperate Forest exhibit area. That is a butterfly. Pardon me, there might be a little bit of butterfly excitement and butterfly catching involved in today's tour. Just to warn you. Come here, little one. Come here, little one. Come here. Okay, it's nowhere near me now. Phooey. Well, down here you can actually observe... Oh, come back here. Almost so close. So close. Did I catch him? Almost. But down here you can observe where the wetlands are going to be, and we'll actually go down there in just a second because I do happen to have a beautiful tree here. This is a gorgeous tree. As you guys know, like if you donate $1 to the zoo or the zoo efforts, then I plant trees in the zoo to correspond with that. So we have a lot of donator trees planted, a lot of donator interns that we'll be seeing in just a moment, and sometimes just fun little things like the marigold gardens planted by Tyler because she sent me in a snail mail some marigolds, and that was so much fun. So I had to like make her a little marigold garden. I think I'm going to spruce it up a little bit, maybe put in like a hedge fencing. But anyway, let's continue on. We've got things to see, and as you guys are with us on the tour, if you happen to have ideas about things that we can add into the zoo, speak up! Speak up! Your ideas are some of the most amazing things that have ever happened to me, so please speak up and then I will write them down. I am more organized than ever, Tate, with this brand new to-do list I have. So moving forward in the future, we should hopefully be able to get lots and lots of different things done. Like a hidden item scavenger hunt that we might have a little stall for here. So when you come and you jump into the zoo, you can pick up your scavenger hunt item and then you can just head off. And you can see if you can find all of the different things for the scavenger hunt. And then there's my girls. All right, Bluebell, are you like... Yeah, she's going to stay with us. She'll teleport to us, I think. Bluebell and Primrose are with us. Maybe a small butterfly house, which might be really fun just to show off like a few little butterflies, like a tiny butterfly garden. Some sort of small shop. I'm thinking we might sell some maps so that people can have a good tour of the zoo. And then, let's see, yeah, this would lead to my house and the dinosaur zone. But we're going to start off with the Temperate Forest exhibits, because this is really the area that we put the most effort into in the last 100 episodes, including adding in Specialist Cassidy. So this is one of our interns, and she is here with her cat Taz and her bunny Smokey, and she actually comes over and gathers up supplies for the squirrels, because we have a squirrel rehabilitation center that is this big building full of glass and adorable squirrels if you look at the right angles. Let's see if I can find the little squirrels. Oh, I see his little tail. I see his little bushy tail. There's the little squirrel right there. So we'll go in and look at him in just a second. But this is Smokey, her bunny. This is a beautiful pecan tree that actually was planted by Sierra, and it's Dorothy's pecan tree. Very, very gorgeous. One day I would love to come over and just pick all of the pecans from it and go make some delicious pecan pie, because I do believe pecan pie better be something I can make. Yeah, look at that. Sweet potato souffle, pecan pie. Oh yeah, so we can make some delicious pecan pie one day with her. So that would be really fun, or with her tree, I should say. And yes, this is Specialist Cassidy. She takes care of all the squirrel supplies. You leave the squirrel supplies here, and then she turns around and takes care of the little squirrels who are down here in the Walnut Center, the squirrel rehabilitation area, where squirrels who may have a history of, like, they happen to be perhaps in a forest fire and they need some rehabilitation are here. Squirrels who maybe were abandoned as babies, squirrels who maybe got caught up by like a cat and just needed a little bit of extra help to get back up on their feet, are brought here, and they're able to enjoy the beautiful jungle gym, glorious area that is the Squirrel Rehabilitation Center. And this was one of our biggest projects that we worked on. There's no squirrel in here, don't panic. But yeah, this was one of the biggest projects that we worked on, and I really love how it came out, because we used like the nut trees from the trees that the squirrels would actually eat off of to kind of make the pillars to the Walnut Center. And then at first I thought it would be much more like a traditional building, but we ended up using trees as the pillars to create this really awesome canopy, but also serve as the columns that connected up each of the different areas for the squirrels rehabilitation centers. And I really, really like that. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out, and I think that those little squirrels will be able to go on, and eventually we'll be able to release them as NPCs into the forest, the national forest that we are going to build somewhere in our world, which is going to be really fun, Tate and Lily. I hope the girls are okay. Yeah, Bluebell and Primrose should start teleporting to me soon. I'm not too worried. This is going to be where you can come and find out all sorts of information about the Squirrel Rehabilitation Center, but it too is one of the things that is currently in progress. So we won't dwell too much on the things we're working on. We'll dwell on the things that we have actually built. All right, continuing on to the Temperate Forest Zone. This was another one of our huge projects, and probably one of the areas that thus far I am the most proud of because it has turned out amazingly. This is Tate's Fishing Pier and Tate and Tackle Shop, and it even has an awesome statue of Tate just hanging out right here. That's you, boy, that's you. And it's just fantastic. We did tons of work over here, and you guys were with us for pretty much the entire process. The very first tree we started cutting down when we looked out over at this lake, and we were like, I wonder what we could do over here, to building this beautiful willow, to building this gorgeous little dock where you can come over, to enchanting the fishing rods. So if you wanted to, you can just come over and do a little bit of fishing among the swans, to adding the first swan in when we first stumbled on the swan that was over here and we weren't sure what to do with her. So then we ended up, Lily, do be careful, girl. So then we ended up building an entire swan nest when we learned about how swans will build their nest on these big giant platforms of sticks and debris that they'll actually gather up. And what the heck was that? I didn't know you could actually catch the fish. You could actually catch Mo Creature's fish on the hook. That was so cool. I had no idea that was actually a thing. How awesome was that? Well, that was really fun. Lucky for the fish that it slipped off of the hook at the last second. Lily, Tate, really, you two? Oh, we got a raw char. I don't know if I've ever caught one of those guys before. All right, now we also have learned that the docks can be a somewhat dangerous place for puppies, so we need to go near them with caution. This is also where Pavo gave us the amazing swan boats that we can ride all over the little lake here. And we also built another tree, so let's go over and look at that other tree. Lily, you sit here, girl. You sit here. Where's Tate? Tate, for crying out loud, he's bobbing in the water again. All right, Tate, you sit here. Come here, boy. All right, good boy. You stay there for just a second. And let's ride a little swan boat out. Yeah, I love these little paths. Hopefully we can have lots of benches just set up everywhere. Swan boats just kind of strewn through the lake so that you can get in here and you can just start paddling as hard as you can. And then you can make it over to look up close and personal at the swan nest, where there's currently a lot of eggs hiding in the nest. And this is just so fun. And you can see at one of the secondary entrances to the Tate and Tackle shop. And you can see this tree, the glossy mangrove tree planted by Cat, which currently has quite a few swan eggs in it. So why don't we come up like the good little biologist we are. And let's see how many swan eggs are in here. 1 egg, 2 egg, 3 eggs. And then let's see, there's another nest over here. So it looks like the swans are still breeding actively and wonderfully. And then we can actually pick one of the swans up and put him back on top of the nest, like so. So the swans are still breeding actively and having a grand old time. Let's see, here on the lake. So that's good to know. So they're very healthy and happy swans. Good, good, good. And we'll move over here. And we have named a few of them. And look at the lake fish. I love watching the lake fish just swim around. And this is just so pretty. I really like it. And over there, we'll go over there in a little bit, but we figured out where we're going to build an entomology academy, which is going to be really fun. I love this lake. We're going to have a lot of tourists, a lot of biologists, a lot of different people coming by that will explain all sorts of cool lake ecology. And we have started, this is kind of where we really started doing all sorts of little hidden details that will teach you to slow down and really look carefully at the world around you. And you might discover things like this turtle, that if you come and talk to this turtle, you can actually exchange all sorts of items to the turtle. You can feed this snapping turtle, the common snapping turtle that is hiding in this log down here. You can feed it different things like cranberries or fish, or you can even just give it mud balls and get more mud balls. You can feed it duck eggs and it'll give you back eggshells, raw snails for shells. You can even give it a raw turtle, like introduce a mate to it, and you can get a turtle egg from doing that. So that then you can go and hatch a turtle of your own. You can give it seaweed for white turtle head. You can give it cranberries for algae. Really fun little hidden details like that you kind of have to keep your eyes peeled for. Oh my goodness, I'm about to starve to death. So let's eat a nice little giraffe footlong sandwich. But yeah, nice little details that you have to keep your eyes peeled for in our zoo. And those are the kind of details that I love hiding all around the place the most. And you're definitely going to find as we finish off areas with big exhibits, you can turn around and you can talk to like a tourist that we might have in the zoo, a guest we might have in the zoo wandering around as an NPC who will have all sorts of secrets to tell you. And you might even stumble upon some little secrets if you like look under some bushes or you climb down a path that looks like it may be an abandoned path. And you'll find even more beautiful things that you can find little hidden things in our world. Yeah, so that's gonna be awesome. All right, and then the Tate and Tackle. This is definitely like one of the best things we've done this year, hands down, the Tate and Tackle, because it includes everything from that beautiful sign that Pavo made for us to fishing trophies that we will eventually make so you can buy if you want to get some fishing trophies to decorate perhaps your home here in Zoodesia, or here in like the world, I should say, and also the carrot fish, which so many of you guys came up with amazing biology facts for the carrot fish that you guys made up. We have conflicting theories from different biologists, which was really, really fun. And we've actually got books with the carrot fish facts written inside of them. And I'm really proud because you guys were here from the moment we started clearing out this tunnel system and making the Tate and Tackle to the moment when we decided, like, yeah, this is good. We've done a good job. We more or less finished off the Tate and Tackle all together. And we still have a little bit of work to do. We need to add in the bait shop. We need to add in like a little bit. There's like geology section I want to have because we ended up getting so many barrel gemstones. I think they were the barrel gemstones. Pretty sure, like the little black barrel pieces. Let's see. Yeah, it was these guys. We ended up getting a lot of these black barrel shards when we were clearing out the area for this Tate and Tackle bait shop. Fish and tackle bait shop, and so we'll definitely build like a little section to talk about those barrel shards, this beautiful waterfall we made with a different mix of ores and minerals that are just kind of hanging out over here, and these stalactites that are holding tight to the ceiling and lighting that area up. Very, very pretty. And of course all of our different fish exhibits, which are just so beautiful. They were a lot of work to do a small exhibit like this to keep the fish safe and alive, but also make it look really interesting and diverse. That was a lot of work, and I'm really proud that we were there together and you guys gave me so many amazing ideas. And this, I mean, look at this guy. The carrot fish, the fancy carrot fish caught by Reese, and it's like 0.7 pounds or 0.17 pounds. This is so much fun. In the future, I cannot wait to have like more tunnels. We are going to be building entire sections that are going to be under the Tate and Tackle. More work on progress areas. It looks like there's a bit of a leak down there for now. So, but when we continue to spread the different areas of the Tate and Tackle and go further down, I can't wait to come back. And then some of you guys who like leave really fun comments in the videos, add signs like that, like the such and such giant catfish caught by so and so. That's going to be really, really fun. All right, let's keep moving and looking at everything. The lack of fish in some areas, which is indicative of needing to make safer little spots for our fish. So we do have to improve some of the exhibits. That's definitely something we need to do. Have I really lost all the fish here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to improve some of the areas over here, because that means that the fish have met an untimely end. And then we've also got Dr. Nami. Dr. Nami came back, and that was so exciting. Dr. Nami was from season 1, and he hadn't been in season 2 at all, and we managed to bring him back for season 3 with his assistant pet penguin Pebbles, and Pebbles even brought back a baby, Plotters. So Pebbles and Plotters joined Dr. Nami here, and we actually can talk with them, and we can trade them fish for all sorts of different Mo Creatures fish that we can then add into our exhibits. And Dr. Nami has displayed a new love of slimy things. He really loves slimy food. So everything from cooked snails to calamari to octopus to spinach pie. If you give it to him, he'll give you a little bit of money in exchange. So it's really great to have cranky Dr. Nami back, and he cannot wait to be settled into a more appropriate place because he actually loves studying corals, not fish. That's his expertise, but he is helping out with the fish until we get to that point. So don't worry, Dr. Nami. Hopefully working on beach type areas is going to be one of our big goals in the next 100 episodes. And then of course this bookshelf is actually full of books that you guys wrote and sent in to me, including carrotfish facts, so many fishing button and carrotfish facts, which are the creatures we made up in the course of our adventures, and that's just so much fun. And we're going to have so many of those in the future too. It's going to be amazing. And then just all sorts of really fun stories that you guys sent in and made up about the snapping turtles or Tate and fishing around here, or Ash when he was like discovering eggs. It was so much fun. Oh my goodness. And then we've got our little wetlands area. I'm trying to grow some of these water gardens, and I might need to maintain them a little bit more soon. Yeah, we're still working on making a picnic area over here. Butterfly! 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 I interrupt this tour for a butterfly. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There it is, there it is, there it is. Is it going to get near me? If I crouch and don't move for a second, is it going to come near me? I don't think it is. But oh gosh, like it's kind of funny after being away from this area, working on other things for so long, and then coming back, I'm like, yeah, I've really got to tidy this up. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. So we'll definitely be working on so many of these areas in the future. Come here, little butterfly. Man, we added in butterflies in the last 100 episodes, which is so much fun because they're just awesome to like climb up here and just cross your fingers. It's a butterfly. It can fly everywhere. It's on that flower. Isn't that so pretty? But I know if I try to go near it, it's just going to fly off again like so. All right, are you going to come my way? No, you guys. Oh, and there's another butterfly. Oh, they're so pretty. And I love having the butterflies added in too. That is just so fun. Like the hedgehogs, you just happen to wander like across them while you're just adventuring in the world. And I think that's just so amazing and so fun because everything, that's why we hide like the snapping turtle and we hide several other things throughout our world, because that's what it's all about, is slowing down and looking for those details, those little hidden things that you're going to find. All right, so this is the lily pad bridge named after our wonderful lily. And this is what will actually take you across to the proper temperate forest area. And we've done a lot of work over here recently that I'm pretty proud about. We added in a Dodo ATM stand, so you can come over and you can trade Zookeeper experience points for coins, so you can do some shopping over at dun-dun-dun, the lily pad gazebo, which is really looking awesome. And I'm pretty sure the lily pad gazebo has been around since season 2. So we've still got our lily pads, we've still got our lilies that we can buy from everybody. You can still come over here, sit down, eat something delicious, just admire the beautiful day, get stuck in the gazebo, don't mind that. Sometimes the wisteria are a little bit over friendly. And then you can come on over. This is now the teleporter, which is so useful. We won't be using the teleportation system this time, but it is a new addition to the zoo in the last 100 episodes, where you can come over and you can instantly teleport yourself to anywhere else in the zoo that you need to go, which is very useful, especially when we are going to start adding in our ocean exhibits, because as you guys may notice, we don't really have an ocean that close to us. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to expand our ocean exhibits up here. We're going to start cultivating this little area, or maybe even this little area, I've been thinking, into ocean exhibits. And they're going to be kind of far away from our zoo, but just one little teleporter hop away. So they'll be far away physically, but they'll be really close because all we'll have to do is just come up to the teleporter and instantly teleport over to them. All right, so let's see. We've got our red wolves. There's Summer. Oh, and she has now pooed and we have scooped it up. That's fine. But yeah, we have our red wolves, which have been an excellent addition to our zoo for a long time now. The red wolves are almost old enough to go and live their life. The pups, we have several pups, 6 pups, and they're almost old enough to go and live their life out in one of the parks. So that's going to be really nice to escort them out to a park. We've got the still work in progress. I feel like half the tour is just kind of embarrassedly going, yeah, we're still working on this, but it's okay because we've done so much, you guys. It's really starting to come together. I'm so excited. We have the still work in progress temperate forest little informational booth where we're going to have all sorts of like signs. I'm thinking maybe some of like the fake animal skins hanging on the walls, or even like the real animal skins that you can touch, because they always have those like deer skins you can touch when I go to those educational centers. Very good for tactile experiences. Oh, our puppies are going to be getting a little bit hungry, so good timing, pups. We can come down to this little path that will lead you to the adorable little birdhouses, by the way, that will lead you to the Temperate Forest Zookeeper Station. And in here we can find some of the supplies that we often need when we're just running around the zoo, like venison, so we can take care of our dogs. And now Lily gets some venison and she's going to be happy about that. And we can also leave behind a little bit of the poo, so I know where to find it if we happen to need it. There you go, Lily. But yeah, that's the Temperate Forest Zookeeper Station. Zookeeper stations are hopefully going to be situated throughout the entire zoo so that I can snag any materials and supplies we might need, or just drop off materials and supplies that might be specific to that area, like the stuff we need to take care of our red wolves, because we do go over and feed them pretty often. By coming back to this little garden, and we will gather up the string. In fact, I can go ahead and gather it up now, like a responsible person. Oh dear, and the deer are still noisy. So the loud sound you hear right now are the white-tailed deer making some cranky noises. But yeah, we can come over and we can gather up all of this Spanish moss, and that actually is easily turned into string. And we use that string to make bait, and we make the bait so we can put them into the animal traps. And these animal traps actually help us gather up different types of meat that we feed to the carnivores in our zoo. Like here's a bunch of raw rabbit, here's more venison, here's some feathers, here's an egg that gets dropped by the animals that fall into the animal trap. A little bit sad, but all part of the cycle of life. And I really love that little area. It's just it just feels kind of nice to go back there, and feel like you're in your own little zone. Very, very fun. All right, let's see. And I guess I'll leave the swan eggs and this egg here for now. And there we go. All right, I love my little zookeeper stations. And I also have some compost bins, so if we ever happen to end up with just like a lot of leaves or a lot of branches that we need somewhere to put, we can just toss them in the compost bin. So that's really good too. All right, let's keep moving. A lot of you guys have seen the zoo before, but we do try to give a fresh tour for everybody. This is where we're going to have some red wolf educators pretty soon. Keeper Adley is over here, keeping an eye on our extremely noisy white-tailed deer. How are you guys doing today? Yes, noisy as always. But this is the white-tailed deer exhibit. It's pretty nice. You can go into it if you want to. You can go down and you can help to clear out the exhibit. To try to feed all of the white-tailed deer, we have tons and tons of gardens, but sometimes those gardens get a little bit out of hand. And Keeper Adley right here, who takes care of our white-tailed deer, actually needs a little bit of help from time to time. So you can come over and you can go into the exhibit and you can gather up some of the greenery that has overgrown, like those gardens or those berries that the deer just aren't eating fast enough, which if in real life they would eat it plenty fast enough, they actually overgraze a lot of lands. But here we have so many gardens in an attempt to feed these guys that we need a little bit of help keeping them maintained. And if you go and do that for Adelaide, you can trade the things that you find to her and she will give you zookeeper experience points. And that is working for the zoo. And when you get zookeeper experience points, you can either take those and turn them in for a paycheck, which will give you coins at the Dodo ATMs, or you can use them to get all sorts of special items to help to better the zoo or help to better your own zoo if you happen to run a zoo in a different part of our world. So then our friends can come over and kind of work for our NPCs as well. So you can get all sorts of blackberry, strawberry, blueberry bushes. You can get a shiny log, which actually glows at night a little bit so that it'll light up an area. Or you could just get some nice boxwood shrubs from the shrubs that she's been clearing away. So very, very fun. Oh my goodness. We still have our little finches. So there's quite a few American goldfinches that like to live in the trees above the white-tailed deer exhibits. So you can kind of see those guys best when you climb up this. This is just a little lookout post that you can come up and you can kind of get a great view of this side of the temperate forest area. We need to build these lookout posts in more areas too. And you can come up here and occasionally we might clear this tree out of the way just to make it so you can see them easier. You can see our red wolves come out of their den. They have a very handsome den right there. You can see Redwood, the male red wolf, he's the father, poking his head out of the den, and they'll kind of just check around. They're pretty laid back. As you guys know, red wolves are an endangered species of North American wolf, so we are trying to help out with our breeding efforts with them, and it will be really fun to release their children to the wild forest that we're going to start marking off and going like, all of this right here is a wild temperate forest. It's a national park, and we'll give the national park a name, and then we will release many of the animals that we breed in our zoo into those parks as NPCs to wander over huge ranges so that we can go and check on them from time to time, and even work with zookeepers, or I should say with biologists who would be out in those parks, who would ask you to check in on them, see how their GPS is doing, see how they're adjusting to life in the wild. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Beautiful moon rising. And then, of course, you can see the beautiful trees of our maple forest. Don't worry, Tate, I'm coming back down. Of our maple forest that's behind the temperate forest exhibits. But before we go over there, let's climb up the path. Remember, you guys, you want to explore down every path. There may not be much there yet, but eventually there will be. And we can come over to one of our sadly neglected sections of the zoo. We need to add a lot more over here. So temperate forest animal ideas, go. And here's our turkey exhibit. So these are the turkeys that we actually rescued on Thanksgiving for Turkey Day. So we brought a whole bunch of turkeys over here that we rescued from Mara's area. And we have given them a new life in this big, gigantic exhibit that they have to roam around in. And I'm thinking that we might make this a multi-species exhibit. So the turkeys can wander around with some of the other species of birds that you might expect to see in a good, healthy, temperate forest. Maybe even a raccoon or two, and maybe even some of those hedgehogs. So you may want to come back and check this space. And where, I thought that Primrose and Bluebell were going to follow me, but apparently they're just hanging out by the entrance today. But yeah, you may want to check this space and keep an eye out here so that you can see multiple different species over here in the future, like this creeper who's coming by to see how our turkeys are doing. That's fine. But yeah, we need to expand this area too. And that's really fun because that's one of the big things I've been trying to work on in the last couple months, is just starting to do details, but also massive expansions. And that's why we have the teleportation system now, and also why we built that gigantic path that cuts all the way through the jungle zone into where the safari zone will be. I'm pretty excited about that. One project at a time, and the days add up, and then we end up creating something this amazing. It's really, really fun. All right, and then right down this path is one of my favorite, like, this is just so atmospheric, one of my favorite areas to walk down, and it'll lead you to the syrup shack. Delicious pancakes and syrup-covered waffles. And we will eventually have a really cool NPC here who will sell you those pancakes and waffles, and even some maple syrup sausages, vegan of course. And this is still one of my favorite things I ever did, and I point it out every time we do a tour, but this is the chest inside the syrup shack, and you can see how the pancakes, the waffles, and the maple sausages are all kind of lined up, so they're on top of a skillet, so it's like they're being freshly flipped on top of a skillet. And then we've got quite a bit of maple syrup just sort of sitting in the bottom down here. So very, very fun. And I can hear our woodpeckers, so really cool. You can come over here, sit down in a chair, eat some delicious pancakes, eat some delicious maple syrup waffles, and then you can listen to all of the woodpeckers that you can see right over here in the Temperate Forest Woodpecker exhibit. So let's go and check them out. In fact, I think some of those are like the tiny little forest finches too. Oh, and I'm getting hungry again. Well, you know what? We're over by the syrup shack. Let's go ahead and eat ourselves a delicious pancake, because we deserve it. So I'm going to have this maple syrup pancake. I'm going to have to make more. I'm going to have to get the NPC over here pretty soon. There we go. And then the Temperate Forest area continues. And it pops out over here where we've actually got this really beautiful garden going. These are the intertwined oaks, and they were planted by Pokafan 1124. And I really like this because it's just such a nice, subtle little garden that sort of sits just right in the middle of the Temperate Forest area, so you can have that breath of fresh air that greenery and gardens really should provide. Very, very nice, very nice. And then right next to it is the Temperate Forest Zone, where we're going to have our zookeeper Ethan come in and get moved in here. He's been meant to be moved in here for ages. He was for a little bit and then he disappeared, but I'll bring him back. I probably just need to raise the pay. And then you can see our woodpeckers. So we have some of the red-headed woodpeckers, we have some of the green woodpeckers, we have some ravens, we have some little birds in here. This is the Temperate Bird exhibit. You can see where the logs have started to rot away. You can see where the woodpeckers have started to peck into some of the areas. Oh, there's one of the little finches. Oh, they're so cute. And it's just a very nice place to kind of come in, sit down, and just be surrounded by the birds of autumn, basically. The birds of fall, when everything is sort of winding down in that period of time, right before winter, when the season really is kind of still lush with all the berries and the mushrooms, and all of the birds busy going around trying to make their nests and make sure they can make it through the winter. Very, very pretty. All right, well, and I need to feed these guys some raw venison really quickly. There you go, Tate. All right, and let's get moving. We want to pick our tour pace up because we've still got a lot of zoo to cover, actually. And then over here we have the Northern Water Snake exhibit. And the Northern Water Snake recently had bebés. So I need to find places to put these other snakes. And we will in the future be adding in signs, bibliocraft signs, so that you can see a picture of a real Northern Water Snake. Perhaps one of the many Northern Water Snakes that I actually take pictures of when I go on my hikes. And so it could be a picture I took, which would be really cool. And then you will be able to tell the difference between a Northern Water Snake and a cottonmouth. A lot of people get those two confused, and it can lead to a lot of dead snakes that were totally harmless. So we'll be using this as an awesome little miniature exhibit to try to teach about those essential differences, and maybe even adding in a copperhead, and eventually a bear and a cougar, and the many other things. Like I said, half the time the tours feel like they're like, yeah, we plan on adding this sort of tours, but that's okay. The many other things that we are eventually going to be adding into our zoo. And then I have been thinking about redoing a part of how we do the red wolf exhibit with perhaps a few less trees, so you can see into the red wolf exhibit a little bit better, and so the red wolves will have a little bit more room to run around and just have a good time. So that's thoughts for the future. All right, but that is the extent of the Temperate Forest side of the zoo right now. So let's go ahead and we will check on the very small but will be worked on dinosaur section of our zoo really quickly. And then we'll move on to the other things we have done. We've actually done a lot of work, like the Egg Research Center. I'm still so proud about that place. And the fish that we have been working on at the Egg Research Center, which are currently no longer there. But I've been working on fixing what could have gone wrong in that aquarium. So hopefully we will have fish in the future. Oh, and we need to actually check the trees, don't we? Okay, let's go back because I just remembered I forgot to check on Hunter's Roots. So Hunter's Roots was another beautiful tree. Oh, there's a wild chocobo. Hello, lovely. Nice to see you. Please feel free to wander by, nibble on some pecans. Very nice to see you. I love seeing the wild animals that show up in our zoo. All right, we're going to wiggle down here. Ladies, why are you just standing up there and not coming with me? I don't know why they're in the mood that they're in, but they're just kind of hanging out by the zoo entrance today. More hedgehogs! Oh my goodness, so many wild hedgehogs. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, they're so cute. All right, and this is Hunter's Roots, and this is another one of the beautiful, beautiful trees that you guys have planted in this world. And these are planted, this is planted by Dakota, and this is just absolutely glorious, and my dogs are being silly. All right, gotta not step on the baby hedgehogs. They're everywhere. This is so cute. This is so cute. But this is another example of how our world just becomes improved with the stories and the community that we have. Because this was a really touching story of a couple community members, older community members who were trying to adopt a child, and the adoption fell through, and they wanted to plant a tree in his memories. And that's why we have this here. And it's really beautiful. And so every time I see this tree, I think about all of the foster children that I used to take care of when I was helping out with being an assistant foster mother. And yeah, you never forget them. And it's always so bittersweet because you wonder where they've gone. But I love how really deep and powerful memories are sprinkled around in our zoo where you least expect them. And it's just really nice to know that that's kind of the depth of what our community has left, the touches they have left in our world. In between all of the silly, adorable baby hedgehogs and all of the adventures and all of the zookeeping work and all of the picking up after red wolf poop, there's quite a bit under the surface of our community, and I absolutely adore that. All right. I'm going to have to go faster. I'm going to have to go faster if we're going to see everything, Tate and Lily. Okay, let's go. Let's go. We've got this. All right, so we're going to run this way. And we're going to give a nice little tour of what we've got over here. So this section of the zoo is also still being worked on. Another wild chocobo! Maybe they're showing up because of the strawberries are so delicious. This is a little wild strawberry garden. We're trying to add more things into our world where you can just kind of stumble on a little wild strawberry garden or something fun like that. Hiding just out in the open like this. It's really fun. Hiding out in the open. That doesn't make any sense, Lily. Just hiding where you kind of least expect to see something, or filling up the gaps where it just looks like, maybe a tree, maybe a nice little garden could go there. That's what the wild strawberry garden is kind of supposed to represent. And then we've also got a friendly greeting planted by Kristen. And this was actually planted in our very first world in season 1. And I still am so happy to see it. It's just so beautiful. All right. And then we've got some things hiding down here too. We've got another tree, the Wishing on Clouds tree planted by Alia. Very glorious. Oh, and I can hear the fireplace cackling for another new area with intern Alexis that we actually have over here. And we'll check in on that in just a second. But over here is another one of those hidden things where you kind of have to look past the bushes and you're like, is this a mole? And it is indeed a mole. And you can actually come up to him and you can do all sorts of fun trades where you trade root vegetables. There we go. Roots and trades all started getting mixed up in my mouth for some reason. And you can get roots from him. And you can also trade the big root strands for roots that you can use in cooking. And you can also get the edible roots from that. So it's really fun because you can decorate with these roots or the big root strands. And you can also give him a bunch of ginger if you happen to have like a ton of ginger on you for some reason. And he'll sort through it and like figure out if it's edible roots or not. And you can also bring him some delicious moonworms because he really loves eating the precious moonworms from our moonworm queen. And he'll give you a lot of edible roots in trade for that because he really thinks that's delicious. But another example of the little secret hiding things that you just kind of have to slow down and peek behind the bushes. You never know what you're going to find in Zoodesia Zoo. All right, so over here is eventually going to be the area that's going to lead to the Butterfly House and the Entomology Academy. And right now it leads to the awesome Alexis. So this is intern Alexis, who is both an intern and has a tree planted in her honor, a pica pine planted by Alexis. And she actually makes some really fun wild food. So if you come over here and cook at her campfire, you can actually make up some fun wild foods like field snacks, which is actually from Stardew Valley, which is one of my favorite games of all time now. You can also make spring onion of friendship soup, which is absolutely delicious and made with wild onions that you can harvest in the area. You can make a bowl of rice, you can make sauteed fiddleheads, and you can make mushroom skewers, all with the wild foods that you can gather in this area. Tate, I don't think sitting on top of the fireplace is the best thing for my puppies to do, please. And this is kind of more an example of what our zoo will eventually become. All of this detail, all of this beautiful greenery, the mushrooms everywhere, the gardens, the like hidden little wild onions. Look, here's some of these wild onions right here. And they give you onion seeds, and you can turn around with the wild onions we just gathered. You have to kind of look for them, and you can make the spring onion of friendship soup that I can sit right here and eat with her, which is so much fun. I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. All right. Good to see you, Alexis. I'm going to see if I can get enough to get like one more soup. All right. No, just a bunch of seeds there. All right. There's 2. And let's see. Is this enough? Yeah, there we go. So now we have enough onions, enough wild onions. I can come over and I can make another spring onions of friendship soup, which is actually from our Stardew Valley series, in case you guys didn't know. It's going to be really fun to have more of the crossovers. Ah, bird nest, yes. Oh yeah, there's bird nest in that tree. All the details, you guys, all the details. That's what zoo crafting is all about. I love you, Lily. But yeah, it's going to be really, really fun to have more crossovers in the future. Like we have our Stardew Valley crossovers over here, but we're also going to have Slime Rancher, Lily. And that's going to be really fun in the future. All right, and let's come down over here. This is the tunnel that actually will lead you down. We just kind of found this tunnel and it's so pretty and we want to do something nice with it. So we're going to be hiding in just a few little bonus surprise exhibits over here. That'll be kind of fun to see. And that includes the Death Adder exhibit that actually was suggested by Horse Lover Minecraft Girl. And how we did that was I picked a random number and the first person to guess that number in the comments got to pick what kind of snake exhibit we're going to add in here. And she picked the Death Adder. So those kinds of things are going to happen a lot more in the future where you guys can have a chance of just like guessing a number, diving in and suggesting things that we can add into the zoo. And that's going to happen a lot. We might even do that with trees now and then, all sorts of things just to make it extra special and really have your little touches hiding everywhere in the zoo. And then we also surrounded this with hedge fencing because I kept falling in. Butterfly, where'd you go? Oh my goodness, that was so exciting. I love seeing the butterflies. And then we have to be careful. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Come here, come here. Am I gonna get him? Am I gonna get him? Am I gonna get him? I got him! It's a red admiral butterfly! Oh, that's so exciting, you guys! Oh my gosh! I was gonna say, we haven't seen many butterflies, and then I have a peacock butterfly! What the heck? There's just so many butterflies all of a sudden! Did I get it? Did I get it? I don't think I got it. Okay, hold very still. Well, very exciting, you guys! You know what I think this means? We should leave NPCs all over the place in our world who could just be like, oh, here's like some butterfly jars, or oh, hey, do you need a butterfly net? So they could be like wandering butterfly researchers or just butterfly enthusiasts who wander our zoo catching butterflies, and you can trade and talk to them. That would be really cool. Like you trade a butterfly and then they can give you like a ton of money so you can go buy something if you want. All right, so where are we going now, Seri? Well, we are walking down the somewhat abandoned, neglected path to the dinosaur zone. The dinosaur zone is still way majorly in progress because we are going to have an entire dinosaur side series. I mean, look at this. I have mushrooms growing on this path. Clearly, I need to maintain it a little bit better. That's why these tours are very, very useful. And then, dun dun dun, you hit the only current exhibit that we have in the dinosaur zone. And there's plenty of room to add in dinosaurs in the future, and we totally will be. We'll be adding in dinosaurs, we'll be adding in all sorts of other prehistoric species, especially prehistoric birds, because that happens to be a little weakness of mine. I like prehistoric birds a lot. I like birds a lot in general. But this fungi jungle that you see is going to be turned into like a smaller dinosaur area, and then we'll have our big dinosaur area that's going to be an entire series all of its own. But right inside is the very first and the only exhibit that we currently have, and that's for Confuciornis, and they're so beautiful. They're so pretty. And this is, even though I neglect it so much, one of my favorite places to come because you can just walk in, you can walk down this beautiful path. You can see how everything, they've got bird baths, they've got food set up everywhere, and you can just see these beautiful birds, and they're so lovely, and they leave so many eggs. And I really do need to get a researcher in here that you can trade all of these eggs to, maybe help out with their care and well-being a little bit. But it is one of the very first exhibits that we ever built, and I'm really proud to come back and see how nice it is even after all this time, because that was quite a while ago. Like, whoops, oh well, there we go, we've got a baby. Guess I might as well celebrate by trying to hatch those eggs. I was trying to open the chest and we ended up with the little baby instead. Well, that was fun. But yeah, I'm really proud to come back and just check this one out. And we might have to spend some days just sort of winding down and enjoying the older exhibits, maybe even sprucing them up a little bit, or at the very least, like adding a little pond in front of it, really making the area look nice. Maybe getting rid of all the mushrooms that are overgrowing on the paths, you know, taking care of it. And yeah, that's just, there's so much to do in the zoo. But that's okay, because we have adventures all the time. Alright, so let's go and tour the rest of the zoo. We're actually making pretty good progress, if you ask me. There is a lot to see. And every now and then when I get discouraged about like how quickly we're building exhibits, I just remind myself over how far we've come. And that some days it really is just about the fun of like cooking food for our friends in the kitchen. And you don't even have to go far or do much to have a wonderful day on those kinds of days. Alright, this is the everlasting love tree planted by Charlie in memory of a friend that she lost last year. And I thought that was really, that's again one of those really sad and beautiful moments that people have chosen to just try to share a little bit of happiness by planting a tree in the memories of those that they love. And so I try to do a lot of justice and really respect that that is part of our world too. So we have a beautiful little bench, some beautiful pink flowers, and you can just come down. You can kind of have a nice view of the lake from over here and just relax, rest, contemplate, just enjoy being over here. Oh my gosh, and the petals are so beautiful as they fall down from the trees. All right, let's continue to move down. We are back to the zoo entrance, so we've seen one half of the zoo now. And we're going to go as quickly as we can to tour the other half. Apparently, my girls, Bluebell and Primrose. You guys, why are you not following me? How come you're not with me, huh? Are you just stuck over here? Here, if you're going to just like stay out of the house and not really go anywhere, I'm going to take both of you over to the peafowl exhibit so they can just sit with the Prince of Peafowl and have a nice time. And there's a wild horse. All right, there's a wild horse. Well, this is one of our really awesome interactive exhibits. One of the first things you see when you teleport into Zoodesia is this bird tree. And this is actually an interactive bird tree where you can see some of our ambassadors from the aviaries, our parrot ambassadors from the aviaries. And you can come and get to interact with them and get to know them. And you can also talk with their keepers, who can tell you quite a bit about macaws and their well-being, how they build nests, how they eat, what their care and maintenance usually requires. Oh my gosh, there's a beautiful moth like right there. Oh my gosh. Watch out, guys. Watch out. Okay. Did I get it? I got it! We got a male rock grayling. Wow, that was so cool. He blended right in. He blended right in with the tree. That was so neat. But yeah, this is another great place. You can see where we have really built it so that the birds will have plenty of things to play on and climb on. And there's a little hedgehog, no doubt nibbling on the fruit that you can actually come over and leave for the birds. So you can gain zookeeper experience points by helping to take care of our birdie ambassadors, who will tell the guests some about macaws and give them a chance to see them up close for the first time. And you can bring fruit to them so that they get all the food they need and that they are well taken care of. And Riona can tell us all sorts about how the different species survive in the wild, or they don't because they're so over harvested for the pet trades and things like that. And then apparently down here towards the jungle and Asian cave exhibits, and I plan on making a lot of big signs that'll start spreading through the area so it'll be more exciting when you like hit a new zone. But apparently over here in our little garden, this is just kind of another one of those gardens of friendship with trees planted by everybody. There is a horse, a wild horse, perhaps hinting to me that we need to work on the farming side series. So he's here, he's looking adorable. Here is the gentle flowering oak tree planted by Haley. Here is the Sweet Bites cherry tree planted by Tasman. And here is the Playful Blossom cherry tree planted by Ethan. The same Ethan who disappeared and is going to be going back into our temperate forest area. And then this path doesn't really go anywhere just yet, but we've been thinking about maybe making it so that you can come down here, find perhaps a fox or some burrowing creatures, find a few hidden items just hanging out off the path, because we like to do that here in Zoodesia Zoo. And again, the gorgeous, absolutely beautiful benches that Ben built for us, scattered all over the place. And then over here is actually a peafowl statue garden, which is very lovely. You can just come up and admire the lovely, lovely peafowl, like little peafowl statues. Very nice. And apparently there's a whole bunch of hedgehog babies that now hide in the area, which is pretty cool too. All right, continuing on down past a whole bunch of things that we are eventually going to build, like the carrot fish and fishing bun overlook. I think that would be really fun. And then you can have a little info center. I like that you can see Hunter's Roots from here. And you can probably have some like books. There's another wild hedgehog. That is so fun. You can probably have some books that tell you that you can go learn more about the carrot fish over at the Tate and Tackle, which is really awesome. We're going to eventually have like a pomegranate juice stand or something with the pomegranate cheese over here. This is Jade Bridge, which I still need to spruce up maybe with like some really fancy, big, glorious statue of some kind made out of jade right about there. That would be really, really cool. But I'm going to like spruce this up. But Jade Bridge takes you on over to Why You Do This, the bunny that somebody named and just has left to roam the zoo, which is pretty hilarious, to the jungle zone. So this is where the jungle zone begins. And the first thing you see is a peaceful rest planted by Aaron, a beautiful tree where you can just come over, sit in these glorious benches, relax, kind of have a chance to catch your breath like we aren't today because we're still doing the tour and there's still so much to see. And then you can come over to the papaya garden. So this is the papaya orchard, and this is where you can come to just pick a bunch of papaya. Why would you pick a bunch of papaya, you ask? That's a hedgehog. That's a hedgehog just spinning in here. What are you doing here? You adorable little hedgehog. Oh my gosh. I wonder how many I'm going to see today. That is so much fun. We just have baby hedgehogs everywhere. But you can come and pick papaya so that you can share the papaya with the peafowl. And try saying that like 5 times fast. So, okay, and that's a chinchilla. This is a chinchilla. Oh my goodness. This is a chinchilla, you guys. I don't have a chinchilla yet. I need a chinchilla. I can handle there being so many wild hedgehogs everywhere, but chinchilla, I have to have that chinchilla. It's now going to be my pet. I need to make an area for my chinchilla as my new pet back at the house. That has to happen. Okay, let's feed Lily and Tate, and then we're going to let Primrose and Bluebell out to enjoy the peafowl gardens. They both seem to really love just hanging out in the peafowl gardens, so that should be nice. All right, and then, well, I needed to show off. Okay, there's so much going on. So much to do in the zoo, even if it was just a tour. That's so exciting. Mushroom, how did you end up in here? Well, we have a mushroom in here somehow. So we'll check him out in a second. This is the peafowl garden area. Still one of my favorite places. Oh, I'm sorry, Bluebell. There we go. Where did they go, girls? All right, I think they decided they wanted to go home. They'll teleport back home when they're not in the mood to be here. So I'll have to work with the girls and make them feel pretty happy to hang out in the peafowl garden again. Right now, they're not so happy, probably because they're low on sugar, if I'm totally honest. They might be on strike right now. So yeah, this is the peafowl garden. Very beautiful area. I really like what we've done with it. The paths are fantastic. I hear that the peafowl trainers are going to be training the peafowl to be pretty silent soon so that they won't be making so much noise, and you can come and enjoy whatever the peafowl stands have to sell, which is a lot of delicious food. The peace lily tea, bird of paradise, blossom bloom tea, the frozen peafowl espresso, toasted coconut, Cassius tart, peafowl papaya blast, ruby melon smoothie, two-tail lettuce wraps, bathing pear, basket bamboo rice, and mushroom jungle risotto that you can buy at the stands here with some coins, and you can just sit down and enjoy the ambiance of the peafowl. Tons of peafowl eggs, roaming mushrooms, roaming pigs. I've got to clean this area out. Oh, Seri, the tour of the zoo more than anything is convincing me of all the work I need to do in the zoo. Oh my goodness. Well, let's hurry and finish the tour by checking out the other areas. There's Tate and Lily. I keep thinking it's like another chinchilla. This is the reticulated river ray exhibit. So there are quite a few river rays. It's just kind of hard to see them because they very, very often are hiding under the sand here, and you don't see them till their little eyes poke out. But there are some stingrays over here, the reticulated river rays, and I really enjoy looking at them because I learned a lot about rays. Goat, if you ate my rays, I'm going to have some words to say to you, Goat. I learned a lot about rays when we built this exhibit, and I love how we built it so you can kind of walk in and you can look around at them, and you can look up and occasionally see them swimming over your head, which is really fun. And I need to add in Nick. So our zookeeper Nick has been way, way, way long overdue to add in here so that he can tell you all sorts about river rays. There's Why You Do This, the bunny again. There's some fig trees. There's some other things. There's some leeches that actually can be found if you go swimming. Yep, like that. If you go swimming in this lake there in this little river here, then you may run into leeches. So that's really interesting. And I think that's a fun little thing. Again, the unknown things you might stumble on as you wander through our zoo are pretty awesome. This is another viewpoint that you can look down at the river rays. Look at why you do this. The bunny is like looking for the river rays. That's adorable. That's really adorable. So he's having a tour of the zoo as well. All right, and I'm going to gather up some sugarcane just really quickly. Because I know that Primrose and Bluebell probably went on strike. If you don't feed your little maids enough sugar, they will go on strike and they will just go back home and pout until you feed them sugar again. So I'll have to work on that. But yeah, that is the reticulated ray exhibit, the river that I think we need to have probably a couple boats built on so you can learn some things about leeches, because that would be really fun. Then we've got the peafowl gardens up there. And then, let's see, there is something through the peafowl gardens. So I probably should go back and we'll pop through the peafowl gardens, because all of the different doors will take you to different paths eventually. All right, I know all you guys are going to be so quiet soon. It's going to be amazing. And then if you come through here, wrong path. All right, I'm tripping over stuff. There we go. It's really quite beautiful. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Here we go. If you come through here, it will take you to this new bridge. So this is a secondary jade bridge with a dancing mushroom popping in and out of it. Hi, buddy. That will lead you into this gigantic highlands. Very lovely highlands. And if you come into the highlands, you can see what is the very beginning of our Arctic exhibits. This is one of the trees, the beautiful Harvest of Ice tree planted by Kristen way, way back in the second world. Yeah, the second world. And it's so lovely. It is a magic tree that has just icicles growing down from it. It creates a cold aura around it. So there's lots of ice shrooms and ice and snow. And this is going to be an area where we are going to continue digging into the rock side, and we are going to be adding in quite a few Arctic exhibits. So I'm very excited about that. So that's the plan for over there. You can kind of get a really cool glimpse of a little death cap area. I don't know why, but that's just like a spot that death caps love to grow in from here. And I think there's even, wow, look at that. I love watching the sunrise in our world now. It's just so beautiful. Yeah, there's even a few interesting areas we're going to have to build in the canyon down there, because we found a lot when we accidentally fell into the canyon there and then we just started exploring. That was fantastic, because that's where we really started discovering a whole bunch. Hello, my noisy ones. We started discovering a whole bunch of like systems, interesting cave systems. Here's another Dodo ATM for all of your coin needs. Oh my gosh, hang in there, guys. We're gonna run through the gauntlet of the extremely noisy hummingbirds. This is the hummingbird exhibit. I promise it'll be a lot more relaxing after we kind of escort the hummingbirds to being a little bit more quiet. I'm trying to get to the point where we start leaving signs out for some of the plants. Oh my goodness, too noisy, too noisy, too noisy. Signs out for some of the plants so you can hopefully learn a little bit about the plants as you walk by. Whew, so that's really noisy in there. And then this is the big aquarium that we had a little bit of trouble with. This is supposed to represent the Asian river fish, and I think that giant tree trunk in there actually ended up killing most of our river fish. So I need to remove the tree trunk entirely and just make it a big open area that our river fish will be able to swim through. And once we get those guys in there, then this will come to life. It'll just be full of so many beautiful fish that you'll be able to see. We will have hopefully lots and lots, maybe even a whole hallway of pictures in the Bibliocraft pictures, so you can see like real life examples of some of these stunning fish that live in Asian rivers, including like even the tiny betta fish or the giant stingray, the largest stingray in the world, live in rivers in Asia. So we're gonna have a lot of fun just diving into all sorts of fishing knowledge that way. We're also going to have like this really fun little rock candy cafe, or like rock candy, I don't know, corner. We'll come up with a cool name for it, where we'll sell all sorts of rock candies. That's going to be right over here. This is where the bat exhibits, the dozens of bat exhibits, because we're going to build everything from like fruit bat, bumblebee bat, all sorts of bat exhibits, flying fox. They're going to be in here. I know it's still under construction right now, Tate. So that's a work in progress area. We've been doing a little bit of work kind of adding to the Egg Research Center, the Zoology Research area. Really happy with what we've done just by putting down like this nest and putting in some random eggs in here. Like I even have more peafowl eggs now. There we go. Look at everybody. They're all so happy. They're all so happy. We extended this area quite a bit too, so we could add in our flame chicken, our blazing chickens. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. We have our magpies. Apparently our magpie has a piece of paper. We have our pigeons. We have our bluebird that we caught when it was hurt from some tar. We cleaned the tar off its feathers and healed it. Here's a whole bunch of our blazing chickens, which are amazing. The blazing chickens are actually the reward we got for our Christmas adventures. So we had some amazing adventures. Alex set it up with helping Santa out for Christmas, and we got the blazing chicken as our Christmas present, which was totally amazing because blaze powder can be used to help make some of these eggs hatch, like have a higher hatch rate. So I love our zoology center. It is definitely, probably because of the doves, or I should say the pigeons, the most relaxing space that we have in the zoo. I really love going and researching in there. So we'll be adding in a lot more actual science, so you can learn about the different eggs and the different sizes of eggs, the creatures, prehistoric creatures that laid the biggest eggs, the smallest eggs, all sorts of cool facts like that over to the Zoology Center in the future. All right, so let's continue moving on. We're almost done, you guys. I know, right? I always know zoo tours take forever because they're so amazing. Lots of work in progress areas where if you have an idea, even if it's just for a small spot where it's like, yeah, put a plant there, then let me know. Or like put a like gemstone. I'm actually thinking of using devincing to hopefully make some really beautiful geodes. Like put that there. Then I would be really happy to just add in your guys' ideas as time goes on. This is also one of my favorite spots. Just kind of look at this, like little natural sections that we leave alone because they're so pretty. I just love them. All right, come on, Lily. And then this is going to lead you to the jungle zone proper, where we have our Asian jungle. And we actually have spent a lot of time over here recently, so I won't poke at it too much. But you can see where we're going to have the tiger plushie gift shop. Here is Educator William, who will teach you so much about the awesome animals that he takes care of, our South Chinese tigers. You can see our South Chinese tigers looking beautiful as always. Amber and her unnamed mate. You can come up and you can actually climb. I love this. You can climb up on this bridge and you can look over and you can just see the tigers from up here. And I think this is one of the coolest perspectives. Just having multiple areas that you can really view the zoo from really helps. All right, so let's go ahead and go down. There we go. Like I said, we've been here in particular. Tate, please get out of the tiger exhibit. Oh my gosh. We've been here in particular. Why is there a Gouldian finch egg out? I have another loose Gouldian finch. Well, that's happening quite a bit lately, so we won't tour this area too specifically. And don't worry, this is a teleporter. It's not actually a tiger. This is just the teleporter. Eventually, they'll all be turned into stone statues. No panicking. It'll be okay. We've been here quite a bit recently, so we won't poke at it too much. But this is the red panda exhibit, and I love it. And the red pandas are doing very well. I want to get their breeding program up and going, and I really want to start getting to the point where we can start releasing the red pandas to that beautiful forest, the bamboo forest that they have come from. And if you guys remember, we have this whole big issue going on with the bamboo forest being affected by an encroaching wasteland that is taking over that area. So we're going to try to make sure that the pandas of the bamboo forest are well taken care of and hopefully like breeding successfully. Whew. All right. And then we do have this deer, and I love the idea that you guys had where instead of calling this guy a white-tailed deer, we will name it after one of the many deer species that you can actually find. Yes, you're just as noisy as the others. That you can actually find in Asia, and there's so many amazing deer species in Asia. So we will probably make this little girl her own exhibit, and we will name her after one of the deer species of Asia. And speaking of the bamboo forest and the plight of our red pandas and the way that we need to breed them up in order to have enough red pandas to help repopulate the bamboo forest, which will be one of our national parks. So you guys, just like before, will help determine how many babies our red pandas will have, and then we'll be able to, from that, release the extra babies when they're old enough into the bamboo forest. And so you will eventually see the national parks that we're going to make in our world grow directly as a result of your guys' support, and you guys in particular, like your guys' names and suggestions and ideas. It's going to be amazing. All right, and speaking of that bamboo forest, though, we should probably go and check in on our little, it's kind of hard to get to because I don't have a clear path to it, but on our wastelands where we put in a tree of transformation and have been able to stop the wasteland from spreading, and we have actually been able to turn it into some beautiful grassland. So we'll go check on that in a minute. This is going to be where the Noodle Doodle Noodle Shop is going to be. Maybe I want to work on that in like the next 100, because I'm going to have some excellent noodles on a vacation that I plan on going on with the wonderful chips in a couple weeks. And apparently there's some like delicious vegan pho on this vacation. There's more death caps, gotta avoid those guys. There's another Asian deer. We'll have to pick which species of Asian deer it's going to be in the future. But yeah, apparently we're going to have some excellent vegan pho. So I'm in the mood for noodles. And I might have to build the noodle shop as a result. And here we are, you guys. So this amazing area used to be entirely wastelands. And then we went and we explored into the heart of Twilight Forest and found this tree of transformation. And we planted the tree of transformation. And it's really beautiful. And I don't hear it right now, but sometimes when you come up to it and you press your ear against it, you can actually hear a soft music coming from inside of it. And it has been transforming this area from a wasteland into a vibrant grassland, and it spreads a little more each time. So it hasn't spread recently. I wonder if it's reached like its max radius and I need to plant more of them. But I really, really love them, and I'm so excited because this area is actually going to start intersecting, because we're right over here. This is the entire wastelands. Look how huge this is. You can see it has a catacomb right here. And then down here are the 3 wizard towers that we found. So I feel like the tree of transformation, will just have to keep planting them and spreading them so that the effect will just continue to spread out and spread out and spread out until we're able to get all the way over to the catacomb. And then we might even have some magic-y sort of side quest stuff go down with where the... Oh, nope, my puppies are okay, I think. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with my puppies, Mr. Warthog. But yeah, we might even have some magic-y side quests go down with the wizard towers over there. So that was a really amazing find. That was in the last 100 episodes too. Alright, let's get away from that warthog. That's angry warthog. Here's some more Asian deer. That's actually a lot of Asian deer we could collect up from this area. We need to pick what species of Asian deer they're going to be named after, you guys, because that's going to be really fun. Alright, I'll have to avoid any death caps. There's some right there. I really do need to make a clear path to be able to walk so that you can get back to our proper zoo paths. There's some more death caps. Oh my goodness. I should probably have some warning signs put up for those. But yeah, I need to make a proper path so you can walk from the tree of transformation to the areas over here. All right, so let's take a quick peek. Just a quick one, because we've been touring for a long time. Man, I feel kind of silly for saying we've done nothing now when we review everything we've done, because it's a lot. Whew, and here we are, another one of my absolute favorite sections of the zoo. This is kind of a mixed species exhibit, mostly meant to be the Australian bird aviary, but we have quite a few other species of birds mixed in here too. The kiwi, for instance, and some of the parrots that are standing in for the various macaws and things like that. So let's see, anybody over here? Nope, that's just a rock. Sorry about that, I actually got hiccups, so I had to just take a moment to breathe. Oh my goodness, did you guys know that pulling your tongue actually helps you get rid of hiccups? And I thought that was just silly, but it actually really does. So there we go, hiccups cured once again, Tate. And we're actually almost out of dog food, and poor Seri's legs are gonna fall off. So let's go ahead and we will wrap up our tour of the zoo with the newest section that we have actually... Are you on the outside? What are you doing on the outside, little William Finch? He wants to go back in. Look at the poor thing. He's like, help, help. How did I end up out here? I don't know how you ended up out here. Where'd you go? There you are. Come here. Oh, thank goodness. I re-caught it. Oh, thank goodness. I think sometimes they just find tiny, tiny holes somewhere, somehow, and wiggle out. But I think that Gouldian Finch is back where it belongs, so it should be very happy about that. All right, and believe it or not, you guys, we actually have a zookeeper station that we can stop off on for just a second. Because we are almost done. We have looked at pretty much everything in the zoo. And again, it always feels like there should be so much more. And yet at the same time, it's very exciting to know that we have done so much and that we've had so many adventures together. Because it's not just about building exhibits, it's about building up this world and friendships with all of our friends who are also on the server, friendships between each other, all of the things we've started to learn. Where are my puppies? About the animals. Come on, puppies. And just all of the beautiful things we discover in this world. It's fantastic. All right, so there's Tate. And there's my Lily girl. Come here, Lily. There we go. All right, so that's the last of the food that they have. So we need to wrap this up, and thankfully we have reached the last, almost finished place of the zoo. This is all work in progress from here, but we have a little banana grove where you've got some nice seats you can come and sit down at. You can just admire the glorious bananas. Maybe pick them if you're so inclined. In fact, I definitely should pick them because I just used up each and every one of my bananas to make banana splits for my friends. Well, I think I have like a couple left, but basically I'm low on bananas, so this is good timing. And then I fell into a hole. That's not such good timing. All right, then we'll go ahead and finish gathering these up. Oh my gosh. And I just love it, you guys. Zoo crafting is super special because it's not really got an end date in mind. It's just beautiful, constant adventure. And I'm so excited I get to share that with you guys. So as you guys saw, this is the path that we have actually built up. Oh, and I need to show you guys something that we actually built up last week. And yeah, that was pretty fun because I feel like by putting this path down and especially by taking the time to give you guys this tour, I'm feeling totally reinvigorated for really getting in here, really adding in exhibits, really seeing what kind of discoveries we can have and making progress, because that's what this is kind of about. It's like one woman's personal journey into trying to show up almost each and every day and make some progress in our zoo. So that's going to be fantastic. All right, let's come down here. And there we go. So these little signs are going to start being sprinkled all over the place. And you guys are going to start seeing them just show up like surprises everywhere. And what they are reminders to myself of amazing species I have learned about that I want to add in. And so what we might start doing is when there's a day where I'm like, well, man, what should we do today? I just pick a sign and we're going to start building for whatever creature might need to go into that exhibit. And in this case, this area is going to have the indigo bunting and other amazing bird species of Central and South America. So that's going to be indigo bunting territory. And then I thought over here it would be really fun to put the big and little scaled least geckos, because I found out that those are teensy tiny adorable little geckos that are about the size of one knuckle on your finger. So that's just one knuckle. That's how big they are. They're teeny tiny. They're adorable. And I thought it would be really fun to add those guys in too, to start coming up with some of the lesser known species of Central and South America. Not just the big hitters, but some of the small ones who do make up like the keystone pieces of ecology that build up the those areas. And the electric ants, which apparently are not fun to be bitten by. So I looked up electric ants, and they are a species of ant that I think you can find on Panama Island especially, and they're not so nice, but they sound really cool. And we definitely need to make sure that, again, we have that whole representation of ecosystems, from the death cap mushrooms and the portobello mushrooms and all the other mushrooms that show up in the jungle, to the creatures that would eat the mushrooms, to the creatures that would eat the creatures that eat the mushrooms, all the way on up to our tigers and things like that. So this is going to be really fun. We're going to have a lot of Asian animals, a lot of Central American animals. We're just going to start mixing the area together a little bit more than we have in the past, because I think it's going to just be a really great way of showing off what is out there in the world. And maybe we'll even be able to make a little sign that I can put up that'll kind of highlight where those creatures can be found in the world too. So when we run past an exhibit, you can look at like a map, the little sign map, and you can see like, oh, this is the continent that it's from, or oh, this is the area of a continent that's from. So I think that's going to be really fun too. And if you actually peek up here, there's more hidden signs. Like I said, you might just have to keep your eyes peeled because they're going to be all over the place. Like the elegant fat-tailed possum, which was so cute. You definitely need to go see the possum. The elegant fat-tailed possum, mind you. So yeah, there's signs like that hidden all over the place that you guys are going to start seeing. And we might just pick days where it's like, okay, let's get going. And we dive on in and we just start working on the exhibits. And we start learning about creatures that you guys have probably never heard of before. All right, and then we're going to run to the end of the path. And yeah, if you guys have ideas, if you even just like look up a list of creatures that live in Asia or South America or Central America, and I'm really proud of this bridge work, by the way. I added in quite a bit to the bridge to make it super fancy. Look at all that. Look at all that. Very lovely. Then let me know, and I will be sure to put them down on my newly organized big giant list. Oh my gosh. What? Newly organized big giant list. Why are there triple creepers? Of possible animals that we can add into our world. I don't even understand. No. I don't even understand why there's 3 of them. That's kind of amazing. So yeah, that happened, you guys. Triple creepers. Were they like creeper criplets? Did I say oh my gosh, I don't know what I said. Now I stepped on a death cap too. Well, that was pretty exciting. And that's what I try to remind oh my gosh, that started me so much. I've got tongue twisted now, Tate. That's what I try to remind myself too. When we do these adventures, they really are adventures. They're not just about how many exhibits we get built. They're about how much fun we have when we go on the adventures. You shot my dog! You are so dead! And the things that we might discover while we're on them. All right. Because it is a Minecraftian world and you never know what might happen. All right. And so we are reaching the very last place, the very end point of our tour, you guys. And I do have a little bit of an announcement now that we've gotten here that I feel a little bit sad to say too, but I feel like I need to. So we will have a little bit of an announcement in just a moment. as we come up here, we stare at this big, beautiful moth. That's not the kind you can catch with the butterfly nets, unfortunately. All right, and here we are for the announcement. So I tried to kind of say the announcement before, and I'm not really happy with how it turned out. So here we go again, because I want you guys to know from the bottom of my heart how much zoo crafting has meant to me. For the past 2.5 years, we have had daily zoo crafting episodes, or at least as daily as I could possibly make them. You guys have been with me through everything. You've been with me since before I met Chips. You guys have been with me since I moved in with him and began my amazing life with him. You've been with me as I moved through jobs, as I was homeless for a little bit and trying to live off of people's couches until I had someplace to live. You've been with me through the death of my grandfather, through so many humongous changes in my life, including the transition into being a full-time YouTuber. It is because of you guys. It is because of the zoo crafters that I am who I am today. It's because of you guys that I know who I want to be. I know that I am a nature-loving, plant-obsessed, animal enthusiast who absolutely loves teaching people about the natural world. And without zoo crafting, without trying to push myself to have this series going every day just to see what would happen and see how long I could keep it a daily series, I know I would have never learned these things about myself. You guys, the core of zoo crafting, are who have changed my life. You have significantly changed my life. As you guys know from the community vlogs, I wouldn't be able to take care of my family. I wouldn't be able to take care of myself. I wouldn't be able to follow my heart each and every day if it wasn't for you guys. And so it's been a very difficult thing to think about how my health isn't quite what it has been anymore. And I don't want to talk about that a lot here, but I just want you guys to know that if I had as much energy as I did a few months ago, then I would keep going. And zoo crafting will definitely keep going. But as you guys know from the community vlogs, I have not been in the best of health lately, and I need to shake some things up. And so I think after 2.5 years, and at the end of the 100th episode of season 3, it is the time to formally make this decision and move forward. And so the decision being made, and don't panic, because this is really a lot of drama for something that probably in the long run won't be a big deal, but it's going to change my life significantly, because it's like I've had zoo crafting as my daily habit for 2.5 years. And the change I want to make, you guys, is that we're going to switch zoo crafting to an every other day schedule. And that's kind of I'm scared. just saying it is so hard. You guys have changed my life, and the gratitude and the joy and the creativity and your letters, your comments, just your enthusiasm, being able to share this beautiful planet that we all share. Planet Earth is someplace we all share together, you guys. And we're dedicated to learning about it here. We're dedicated to just going on adventures and having beautiful, happy days together here. So the idea of switching from daily zoo crafting to every other day zoo crafting still is a ton of zoo crafting. That's still a lot of zoo crafting. That's still hundreds of episodes every year. But it's a little scary because it's who I am. I am Zookeeper Seri now. And it's changed my life for the better. But I want you guys to know that I don't make this decision because I don't want you guys to have more zoo crafting. If I could, I would just do zoo crafting all the time, all day, every day. But my health is just not what it should be right now. So I hope you guys can just bear with me. Maybe I'll feel better in a few months and we can switch back to an everyday zoo crafting schedule. But I think the time has come after 2.5 years to finally admit that, yeah, that was awesome. That was amazing. And almost every day for 2.5 years, we've had a daily zoo crafting episode. And I have a feeling if I can just lighten up a little bit on my schedule and take care of my health a little bit more, which needs to happen, then we will still probably end up with daily zoo crafting between the side quest and zoo crafting proper and the dinosaur side series and the farming side series. I want to get going in the same world. We're still going to have tons of adventures together. So I don't want you guys to panic or be upset, but I have decided that it needs to happen. We need to have every other day zoo crafting because I'm just not healthy enough right now to be able to continue on with so much on my plate and with all of the things I want to do. I want to bring you guys better stuff. I want to bring you guys more done in every episode. I want to get more done behind the scenes, and I just don't have that time or that energy level right now. So don't panic, you guys, and don't be too sad. Maybe this is just kind of like a little vacation for Seri sort of thing where I take some deep breaths and I'll feel better in a couple months. And if I'm really energetic and I really have a lot of energy, then of course maybe we'll have daily zoo crafting episodes that week. But some weeks right now I'm just not feeling my best, and so for now I'm just going to plan on every other day zoo crafting, and we'll have bonus episodes when I have the energy, and we'll have side quests when I have the energy, or when we can really make sure that they happen. And there'll still be so much going on in our world, so I don't want to upset you guys. I don't want to change your guys' lives. I don't want to change my life. I love I love the world and the community that we've built together. But I think for now, it's definitely time for me to be able to shift things up because I need to take care of myself, you guys. And I know that's what you guys really want in the end. So thank you so much for changing my life. Thank you so much for changing my world. And really, I feel like I'm being so melodramatic because really, you guys, we're still going to be together every other day in zoo crafting and probably every day because I'll have more energy to do silly things like side quests in the background. And then we can have those come out instead and it'll be really fun and we could get the dinosaur side series up and the farming side series up and then I'll be able to get more done. My bet is that we'll probably have longer zoo crafting episodes as a result and we're just going to have a great time. So yeah, let me know how you guys feel about that. It's a decision I think I definitely need to make because you guys have seen the community vlogs. You know what's up. And if you haven't, then go see the community vlogs and just know that if everything goes well, then maybe this is just temporary. But I decided I needed to make a formal announcement so you guys wouldn't be confused about where is the daily zoo crafting or where Seri is or what's going on. So there you go, you guys. It's still a ton of zoo crafting, but it is a big identity change for me because this has been me every day for the last 2.5 years. And this has been with you guys every day for the last 2.5 years. So I won't dwell on it too much. And I'm just going to get my rest and maybe I'll have the energy that I need to be able to bring it back full force. And we're going to continue on. Don't ever doubt. I think for as long as I can be a YouTuber, zoo crafting is going to be part of our lives. So don't ever doubt that that's it, danger or risk or going away. I just hope you guys can understand if I'll take things a little bit slower. And just know that from the bottom of my heart, I still think about all of you every single day. And that this, in a lot of ways, is for you as well. So that then we can have more going on in the episodes when we do have things. And I won't feel pressured. And I won't almost cry myself to sleep with guilt like sometimes I do that there wasn't an episode for that day. And we'll just be able to enjoy the time we do have together when we have it. So there you go, you guys. Let me know how you feel about it and we will work something out and we will have more zoo crafting every other day for the foreseeable future for now. And that's still a ton of zoo crafting. And I hope that's not a sad decision. And I just hope that it's something that you guys can understand is really for a health thing that I need right now. And I just hope you guys know from the bottom of my heart how much I love and cherish all of you. So enough of that silliness, enough of that sadness. We're going to come back full force next time with adventures with our friends. We're going to be studying and researching more animals. We'll be getting the exhibits actually built for once. That's honestly what I think is going to happen from being able to rest a little bit more, is doing more research and getting exhibits actually built, which is going to be pretty awesome. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.